Hey gang, today I want to give you a very simple exercise for voice leading and chord tone soloing. Similar to what I was doing in the opening there. We'll use that chord progression, which is just a 2-chord progression, which makes it easier. We'll target certain notes, and those notes will be chord tones. I'll show you an exercise on how you can develop your ear to do that a little more naturally. All right, super simple. Hope you enjoy this one. If you like it, give it the thumbs up. And if you haven't yet subscribed for one of these every week, we'll see you in just a second. All right, hey gang, let's go over this, not note for note, but just go over these exercises. And I think you'll find them quite easy and quite fun too. Now there's no tab for this one, but there is a backing track. So I put a link to the backing track down below for you. All right, well let's get going. Now this is these exercises are geared toward just playing the chord notes and just really understanding and getting a feel for the chords that you're playing over so you can hit notes that really make sense to you. Okay, we are going to focus on the 3 main notes of a major chord, the 1, the 3, and the 5. And it's just really basically simple. Now the backing track is just a 2-chord vamp. It's just a D to a G. Like so, okay? D, G. Okay, and it just repeats that ad infinitum, and that's basically it. So it's a bar of D, it's a bar of G, bar of D. Now, if you want to think of a scale, you can think of playing a D major scale, but you do not have to think of playing a scale on this one. Basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to target notes that are in those chords. And so the exercise that I have is to really just start understanding what note you're targeting and being very deliberate about it, okay? And so it's this. So the first thing that we need to do is I think we need to think of the chords. I like to think of the chords themselves. So if we pick a position, and let's pick the 5th position because that's what seems like all guitar players want to do. We know that we have a D chord that's right here. D chord with a root on the 5th, right? And then 7, 7, 7 on the 4, 3, and 2 strings. Now if we just focus on the 4, 3, and 2 strings, I think it's going to help for the exercise. That's how I like to do it. And we've got 7, 7, 7. All right, now the root is right here on the 3rd string, 7th fret. The 3rd of that chord is on the 2nd string, 7th. And the 5th of D is this A note right here on the 7th fret of the 4th. All right, so we could target any one of those. So we're going to pick one and target it. We're going to start with the root, as you'll see. All right, now we need to find a G chord in roughly the same position. Now, this is a G chord right here. but it's a real hard one to finger for most people, including me. So I like to just think of this right there, and that's just the 1 and the 5 that are played there. So we can think that one works, but we can also think of this one right here. All right, which is the same as the root with a G on the 6th right here, this E shape right here, right, our normal bar chord. But we're just using our 4, 3, and 2 strings, and that would be 5, 4, and 3. And that is the root, 3rd, and the 5th. All right, we can also think of this chord right here, which is part of the bigger chord, which is just like a C chord, moved up so that it's on the 10th fret. The root is on the 10th fret there. That's a G with that. And again, just on the 3rd, 4th, 4th, 3rd, and 2nd strings, we have 9, 7, and 8. Right? And that is the, on the 9th, that is the 3rd of G, which is a B. On the 4th string, on the 3rd string 7th, we have a D, which is the 5th of G. And on the 2nd string 8th, we have a G, which is, of course, the root of G. All right, so we've got 2 G chords, this one and this one. We've got 1 D chord, this. All right, so let's just start out with the exercise. The first part of the exercise is just playing the root of each chord. So we've got a root here for D, and we've got a root here for G, and we've got a root here for G. Okay, so that's all the first exercise is. It's just playing roots. Okay, so let's do that a couple times through. Okay, here we go. You get the hang of that one. So just let that go, and you can imagine doing that all over the neck. If you find all the D's and all the G's, just continually playing that. Get comfortable with all those notes. All right? Now, the second thing we're going to do is we're going to play the root, and we're going to go root to root, except we're going to play a note in between. And we can play 2 or 3 notes, but we don't want to really try and play too much melody. We want to be really safe. And by the way, any notes that you find that work are going to be fine. Okay, so if you want to play a chromatic tone, that's fine. If you want to play a tone that's in the scale that you're playing, if you're playing, happen to be playing a D major or whatever, that's fine too. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so we'll keep it in the 5th position still. Okay, here we go. Note, but we played it. It's okay. You're already starting to figure out how to make music just going root to root, and it's kind of fun doing that. Now the next thing that you can do is simply target the 3rd, and I'll just show that one. So the 3rd for our D would be this right here, and the 3rd for our G would be either this note right here, which is a B, or we could target this lower B, which is right here, or this one right here. Notes in our chord. Okay, so let's target, I don't know, let's target this F sharp and this B. All right, here we go. now we're going to play our notes in between. Okay, and so forth. All right, and the last one that we have is the fifth, which would be right here. Right, and we could target that one on D. This is the fourth string, 7th fret, which is an A. We could target this A, any A, right? And then, of course, our G, the 5th of G, is going to be a D. So that's that right there. That's an easy one to target. Okay, let's just try it now. A note to it. All right, so you get the idea. And you know, you can mix and match, right? We could target the first or the root and then the third, or the third and then the root. And all that stuff is fair game, and it just gets your ears really attuned into what's going on and get you finding different melodies. It's really a fun exercise and enjoyable, and it's a good learning experience too. I really like doing it. Well, there you have it, gang. A really, really simple exercise. Just doing this, I don't know about every day, but just doing it as a kind of a matter of habit really does help quite a bit. And it's not at all theoretical. There's no real theory to it, or there's very little theory to it. So it's pretty easy to do, and it's fun to do too. It's kind of addicting. All right, till next time, we'll see you on down the road.